This command will demonstrate the DOCDIM command, which is the automatic dimensioning portion of the AutoDoc routine. First thing that must be done is to set up dimension styles that will be used with the automatic dimensioning. So we'll go up to Dimension and down to Dimension Style. Dimension Style Manager appears and we see that we have 4 listings in here for styles: Linear No Tolerance, Linear Toleranced, Ordinate No Tolerance, and Standard. Using the Linear No Tolerance setting, we can press the Modify button and review the settings that were made for that style, such as for lines, symbols and arrows, text, fit, primary units, alternate units, and tolerances. Next, selecting Linear Tolerance, we can review the settings for that style also. Again, starting with lines, symbols and arrows, text, fit, primary units, alternate units, and tolerances. And finally, we will review Ordinate No Tolerance. Select that, press Modify, and review the settings for each of the tabs, starting with lines, symbols and arrows, text, fit, primary units, alternate units, and tolerances. In order for the DOCDIM command to work correctly, certain entities must be on specified layers, such as the general board outline must be on the PCB layer, and if there's going to be a profile, that must be on the PCB_profile layer. Turning off the fill mode, we can further examine other entities that are to be on specified layers. For example, we'll pick on P8, and we see that that's on the COM-NS, or the component near side level. You can also see that it's a block reference and it has a name of PRT or port, and it also indicates that it's on the NS level, and the rest of these are the dimensional sizes creating the port. I'll escape out of that one and we'll select on P9 next, and we can see that that's on the COM-02 level, and it too is a port and indicates that it's on the O2 level and has the associated sizes built into the block name. Next, I'll select on a cavity outline, and we can see that that is also on the COM level, and because this one has 2 levels of cavities, which I will zoom into, we can see that that goes down through 2 levels down to the component 01 level, and that has a block name of CAV3-02. Any cavity that is created must have the outline residing on a CAV layer, such as CAV-NS, CAV-02, CAV-01, etc. Next, I'll turn on the individual substrate levels through the Layer Properties Manager. So we'll go down to SO2, or Substrate O2 level. We'll turn that on, as well as SFS, Substrate Far Side, and SNS, Substrate Near Side. This will allow us to define each level of dielectric for the individual edge cutouts that are required for each of those. Once the criteria for automatic dimensioning has been met, we can go ahead and start the DOCDIM command, which I'll type on the command line. And the Doc Setup Dimensioning dialog box appears. Looking at the first line, we can see that refers to top, or PCB extents, which would be our top view of the PC board, or substrate outline, and the side profile. For this, we're going to use Linear No Tolerance, and if I let this fly out, I could select a different type of dimensioning style from the previously set up ones that we have. In here I could also set a distance as to how far the dimension is going to be away from the PCB edge. And at this point here, I'm going to change this one to be 0.075. On the next line we see ordinate dimensions, which of course will be assigned as ordinate, no tolerance, and this will get a 50 thousandths distance from the PCB edge. This one is going to place the dimensions for all of the cavities and cutouts along the substrates. The next line down shows we have critical dimensions, ports to PCB, which is going to be assigned linear no tolerance style dimensioning at a distance of 0.15 from the PCB edge. This will give us the dimensions from the 00 point to the insertion or midpoint of each of the ports along the edge. The last line shows us critical dimensions, ports to cavities, which is going to be assigned linear tolerance at a distance of 50 thousandths. This will give us dimensions from the inside of the ports to the edge of the cavity. The cavity reference letter size is set at 10 thousandths, which will be the height of the cavity identifier letter that will be assigned in here automatically to each of the cavities. The Minimize Ordinate Dimensions checkbox, when enabled, only allows dimensions to be placed at the lower left corners of the cavities. When this is disabled, it allows full dimensioning of the cavities. Once we have the setup complete, we can just press the OK button, and the routine will automatically dimension our model for us. Some dimensioning may not align where we prefer, so we can pick on the dimension, and using the grip, we can move it into a more desirable position. For geometric dimensioning and tolerancing symbols, we can go to Dimension, and for this one we're going to set up a flat tolerance. So click on Tolerance, and I'll pick my symbol for flatness, and I'm going to set this to 0.004 and position this as so, and then come in and line it up. Now that the dimensioning is complete, it does appear that there is overlapping of dimensions in certain areas. Since we had used different dimensioning styles, it also uses different layers for controlling the dimensions, as can be seen through the Layer Property Manager. And this concludes the DOCDIM portion of the AutoDoc routine.